What's up guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Please feel free to comment, share, like, subscribe. You can just comment things you want me to do in the future or ways I can improve my code. I'll always greatly appreciate critique, right? So let's jump right into the problem. The problem right here is write a recursive function which returns true if the string passed to it is a palindrome, and the palindrome is a word that reads the same forward as it does backwards. Right, so awesome will return false because, of course, it does not read the same forward as it does backward. Forward is AWESOME, backward is EMOSEWA. Go down to Taco Cat will return true because Taco Cat is the same as Taco Cat. Let's jump right into it. First thing I'm doing is going to create my function. Let's go call it palindrome. Let's pass in an argument of string. Right, so if someone calls this function, they can just call palindrome and pass in any string they would like to put in and see if it's the same forwards or backwards, right? So the first solution I think of when I see this type of problem is having two pointers at the very end and the very beginning that can keep track of this character and this character to check to see if it's the same. Let's keep track of my logic here, right? So I want to create two pointers to keep track of letters. If here I'm just trying to figure out my base case, right? So if two characters are not the same, we're going to return false. If they are the same, we're going to do our logic here. So let's go up here, let's go ahead and start creating our two pointers. Pointer 1 is going to equal to just 0, right? Because string index 0 will always be the very first character. Will always be the very first character. Yeah, so then we're going to create our pointer number 2, which will equal the string, the length of the string, minus 1. So the string, like the string, well, it's always one more than how many indexes there are. So the length of this word is 7, and there are only 6 indexes, right? So you need to subtract 1 to get the very last index, right? Now that we have our two pointers, we need to see if the two characters are not the same. If they're not, we just go ahead and return false at the very beginning. So if string at index pointer 1 does not equal string at index pointer 2, we go ahead and return false. All right. And if they are the same, we're gonna run our logic, right? And so here I don't really need to write an if statement because if it is the same, it's going to just pass this and then go down to my logic. And if it's not the same, it won't run this code down here. It will just stop here, return false, and the entire function will be done, right? So if it is the same, we know that we need to return this function again, or pass something back through to this function. Whether it be the same string or a different string, we're not sure yet, right? So what do we want to do? Let's think about this. So we have our pointers here and here. Let's go with Taco Cat. We have our pointers here and here. If the characters are the same, what can we do? First thing I can think of is just taking off the T's and then passing in this new string and keep checking the first and last character of that string. That makes the most sense to me. Let's go and do that, right? Let's make a variable, let's call it new string, which is going to equal, the new string is going to just equal this right here. So how can we do that? We can go and slice the old string, right? So string dot slice. We want to start at position 1, which will be right here. Position 0 will be here. Position 1 will be right here. So you want to start at position 1, go all the way up to, but not including this very last letter, which is this very last pointer, right? So pointer number 2. So we have our new string. We're cutting the old string. We're setting the new string to the cut old string. So we're cutting this old string, right? We're cutting it down to these 4 or 5, excuse me, and passing in to a new string. And once we cut it, we can go ahead and pass it back into the function and restart all over again with the brand new string. And then change this to new string. To new string, right? Pass in to new string. So let's go through our logic really quick to see what we have so far. So let's go with title cat because we know it should return true. Actually, start with awesome since that will return false fairly quickly, right? So the pointer's at A and the pointer's at E. We got our pointers come down here. If these pointers are not the same, it will return false. It will automatically return false, and we are good to go, right? So let's go to title cat. First and the last letter returns true, or it doesn't return true yet. It just returns back to the recursive function. It cuts out this and returns it back in. Right? Takes it back here. Same thing. Our 2 pointers here and here is the same. So a cut and pass this through. Same thing again. It will check C and C. If it's the same, cut that out and pass in the O. Right? And then the pointers will be pointing the same letter. So of course it will be the same. And then it will pass in the blank string. There will be nothing there. So here it will still be passing a blank string. So we also need to figure out a base case to do if the string is blank. So for this solution, I'm just going to say that a blank string, even if a user passes in a blank string, at the very beginning we say true for a palindrome because technically blank is the same as blank backwards, right? So if the string that's passed through is equal to blank, we want to return true. We want to return true. So it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So if the user passes in a blank string, then it returns true. If he or she passes in this, and it keeps cutting it, gets to the O, cuts it again, it's blank. It'll pass it blank through here, and it'll fall into this condition, and then it will return true, and that should be the solution to our problem. Let's go ahead and check that. All right. So call palindrome. I'm going to pass in word or string hello. And as you already see right here, that will be false. That will return false because of course hello is not the same. It's not hello backwards. Let's call it again. Let's pass in when it will return true, which would be a race car. Right? As you see, it will return true. One more time, for good measure, let's pass in awesome. And of course, that will be false. So that is the solution to the recursive function that returns true if the string passed to it is a palindrome. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments you'd like to add, please do so. I try to answer all of them that I can. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.